I have one really great mic that seems to work on everybody a little bit, but especially on Rhett, because Rhett does a lot of. He'll sing. He's not afraid to use his whole range, and he'll sing lower on parts that maybe some people feel like they can, and it does a great job picking up the lower tones on it, but they're still clear. They don't get lost in the track then when you're going to mix it. And he'll sing in falsetto, and it does a good job on that too. But it's the Chandler Limited microphone, the red mic.
The Red 47. Yeah, it's one of my favorite mics. And then this mic looks expensive. What's that?
Yeah, this is a mic test, but this is how I have
And that's your snare mic? What's that?
it. This is a Heil.
Heil.
And then we just got a brand new hi-hat mic Tom ordered that we'll put instead of this guy.
Yeah, Jeff likes that. Yeah.
And then these are brand new overheads that we're using.
What brand is that?
What are those, Tom? What are those? Lawton.
Lawton. And why do you like these ones?
They have a really nice sound. We're using Earthworks, and those sounded great, but these have a really nice sound.
They're a unidirectional cardioid pattern instead of the Omni, so they're a little tighter sounding.
And then this is a what's the ribbon, Tom?
Oh, it's so small.
Stager.
Yeah.
Local ribbon mic maker.
That's so small, and that's good for the capture
The
such
toms?
such a low frequency.
Yeah, these are those are classic tom mics.
Really?
Not classic like from the '60s, but they're a great they're a great tom mic.
Then what about this thing? Is this a room mic or what is this?
It's a ribbon mic that kind of captures the front of the drums.
Nice.
And then sometimes I'll mic this.
Is this in figure 8 or what is this in?
Yep.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And then sometimes I'll mic this guy. I'll put it up to that.
Really?
Mic it up. Yeah. So it gets like a kind of like a sound.
What's in the kick? What kind of mic's in the kick right now?
That's an AKG
The D112 or
D112. Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
And you actually use this like just overall kit mic? Pretty.
This guy right here.
Yeah, that condenser.
Yeah. What I'll do is that it records, and so
Kind of mix into taste.
if I want to mix it in, or maybe I can just use that for a different sound or
I
whatever.
gotcha.
So it's
Is that Omni or what is that?
that is recording. What is that recording?
Figure 8?
Figure 8. Yep.
Interesting.
Yes. It's just so it has different. So I might not even use this. It just is.
Yeah, it's just there as an option.
It's just there as an option. Yeah. So that's what this is the setup I used on that song.
The drum sounds so good. I think they're like, just like I was telling Tom, just enforcing the groove. You know, it makes it sound very rock and roll, like just very rockin'. You know.
That's what we want. Like I said, your programming is so well done and well thought out that it just doesn't need like
crazy shit.
It just it's like, man, maybe I could come up underneath it or whatever, right? And that's all it needs. Yeah, that's exactly right.
think we're getting more efficient at it. You know, we've been doing this for a little while.
Again, Rhett, it's not because of laziness or whatever. It's just I hear it and I think.
Well, we're getting faster at it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's like,
just
why would I get rid of that? That sounds amazing. There are things that come in here that are like, wow, we got to get rid of that. But you're not that. You're just not.
Dude, it just sounds like it's like you're on the stage. You know what I mean?
What did you use for the vocoder?
So normally I want to use the Arturia vocoder just because it's cool.
So there is one in Arturia.
Yep. Okay. And I use that on I've Been Feeling Down lately.
Okay.
But this one, I'm using the Isotope vocal synth plugin, and I like that because I just sing it and then I put the plugin on and I pick which sound I like.
Dude, it's a good plugin, the vocal synth.
It's one step easier, whereas the Arturia vocoder, you actually have to sing it and then you have to actually play the thing, and that's cool. But it's kind of comes more of a bitch to like.
Yes.
Yeah, get a cleaner version. It's just one extra step. I don't know.
No, the vocal synth, I think is a great plugin.
It really is. I'm glad I used it because when I bought it for like a year, I didn't really use it. But then I don't know why I've got, probably because I've been listening to more 80s music. But I just got into the vocoder more recently, I guess. And I like using it as an accent piece. That's the thing. I don't want it to be the whole main song. It's all about, instead of that being a harmony, let's just have it be a vocoder. And it just, you know, it's actually really emotional to me in a weird way.
It is. It's a very, I think that's a great way to put it. It's a very emotional sound. Yeah. You would think, well, that's weird because it's robotic or whatever, but it really is. It's emotional. Yeah, there's this emotional quality to it.
It's almost like a broken voice singing to you. You know, it's like
I love it. I love the
sad robot.
I love the vocoder, like how it. Yeah, it does. It has a very melancholy. Sound to it.
The other thing I've gone into on this song and other demos that we haven't done yet, but a synth, the Fairlight. Found out about that. That's like I needed to keep using more of that. But there's a couple like vocal sounding synths in this, and it's from the Fairlight. Just that 80s female girl sound. That's what I'm like. Ooh.
Dude, the Fairlight was. Dude. There was a show called Miami Vice.
Yeah.
In the 80s.
And they used that.
That was.
It's there.
Yeah, dude, the Fairlight was. That thing was like $25,000 or whatever. It was so expensive.
Now it's in my pocket.
Now it's in your pocket. But the Fairlight is such a quintessential 80s.
Because I was like, I started using the Prophet and like, I don't know what else. Juno, Jupiter, great stuff. Right. But then like, I remember talking to this friend, I'm like, what's that thing in like, I don't know, like the Tears for Fears or whatever? Like, that's a Fairlight. I'm like, what is that? You mean a Fairchild compressor? Like, no, it's a synth. I'm like, and I looked up, I'm like, this is everything I need.
Dude, the Fairlight is. It's the quintessential. Yeah. But you couldn't, like, if you were like you back in the 80s, you would never be able to
get your hands on one.
Well, you would have a Juno, because you could afford that, or but you could never buy a. There were 3.
But people used them. How did they use them? Just like a couple studios have them, and they all.
Mm-hmm. And the big composers and.
They had them.
Yeah, but you had your synclavier was massive.
Oh yeah, I need to use that more.
That's a massive 80s synth, the Fairlight, and then there was a synth called the PPG, which I think is in the Arturia too.
It is PPG.
Yeah. That was these synths were they're $25,000 to $100,000.
Is this like an instrument?
These are like keyboard. It's like this basically. It literally is like this. But there's there's different guitars, there's different synths, and they all have different characteristics and sounds. And for a different part of the arrangement in the song, I'm getting to the point where I kind of know which synth I might want to try and go for. And yeah, there's a lot of different synths in this song for the different, I don't know, the melodies and parts.
The Fairlight had a screen too, which was
I don't like that part of the plugin. It's so confusing.
For the time was, again, you started to see the merging of computer and music, and so that was one of the first ones that was doing that.
I just wonder how people were able to use. It's just using synths for the first time. How they able to get
Giorgio.
What?
Giorgio, the
Oh,
guy from Daft Punk,
Yeah.
he's the guy who started to use the synthesizer, and it's the
Sound
sound of
of
the
the
future.
future.
Yeah, the sound
Dude,
of the future.
I guarantee at some point have used a Fairlight.
Daft Punk or
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's
Daft Punk is also recently. I mean, I've always liked Daft Punk, but you know, some of their songs are another inspiration in a different way now. And I don't want to. I don't think as of now I would want a song that sounds just like Daft Punk, where it's like all. I don't say that. It's just a certain synth sound. It's like only synth, only robot voice. But if there is a texture from Daft Punk, like I want that texture, I want that color, and I'll pluck that.
they do that too on the like the album that Get Lucky was on.
Yeah.
They did a lot where.
That's a really good album and mix.
There's real drums
Oh really? I didn't know that.
underneath the program.
That's why it sounds so cool.
Yeah, it's real. It's either real, like sometimes they'll just keep the hi-hat.
Yeah.
So what do you do today? You will do vocals and you won't do any guitar, right? The guitars are all
The
done.
acoustics, retract those a little bit. We don't know if it's gonna make it in the mix because again, this is kind of a busy arrangement too. So I feel bad because I'm always trying to make it as groovy as possible, but with that probably comes like
I really impressed with the sounds.
nice. It's Arturia is carrying me a lot.
It's not just Arturia. It's
Okay, I know how to pick them.
you have to pick them.
Yeah.
Dude, that is again, Arturia has
Everything.
8 billion sounds in
Yeah.
it, right? And so you have to. It's the choice.
I get a
of the
little
sound.
stressed out when I'm like, not stressed out, but I'm like half excited. I'm like, it's synth day. I was trying to get a good synth part for it, but I'm also kind of like, sometimes you're just going through like all these sounds, like no, and then you finally go, that could work, and then boom, you just go on to the next one. But as soon as you find something that works, because if you're like anal about it and you're like, we need the best synth sound possible, you know, it's digital, we can do it, but you just gotta find as soon as it vibes, just get it and move on.
No, Dude, that is great advice. If
Yeah.
you find it, you move on.
Yeah.
You choose it and you move on.
Yeah.
Because you can get lost.
Oh, you would never get finished.
You would never get finished, dude. There's so many choices that you would just sit there
Yeah.
like.
I have one friend that like, if he's looking up a certain tempo on Splice to like try and get something from, he said he'll go through every page of it, even if he finds something he likes, he won't just be like, that's good. He'll, because he's like, I want the absolute best. But again, like, you get too lost. Once you put the magnifying glass, it's like, yeah, you have the best synth sound, but then you pull it out and it's like, oh god, the mix is not good. Like,
dude, that's exactly.
You know what I mean?
You get lost in the little minutia of the.
Yeah.
I'm the exact opposite. I'll just find any sound that's like close and just write a note. Tell Brett to replace this sound.
Yeah.
No, Brett, I like hearing you say that because that's to me the mark of someone that is good at what they do is you have to move on. You have to choose it and move on.
Yeah.
Because there's always going to be a better sound.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
There just is. Like you could always be like, well, I probably could have beat that somehow.
Sure.
Or that could have had more reverb on it. Or,
Yeah.
I mean, but that you would get lost forever.
I've gone down that road before.
Dude, it's a shitty road. Well, because you stop creating.
It's like that ice road we went down for the music video.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah.
Well, again, you lose perspective of what you're doing,
Yeah.
and you instead of looking at it as a whole, it just becomes all these little bits, and
Yeah. It's
That's
not even
not-
about the song anymore.
it's not even about the song anymore. That's what sucks. That's why you can't get lost in that.
I Guess I Don't Need You is more, I really don't know what genre it falls under because it's really a perfect mix of a lot of them. But I think it's very a synth-driven song, a pop synth song, but it still has this rock energy to it, especially in the choruses. So I'm just excited about the specific synths I have in there because they're different sounds than I've used in the past. So that's making it a little bit more unique for me. Sometimes all I need is just one unique sound in the song, and to me that's what makes that whole song special to me and unique, you know? Just because there's one thing that's new about it that I haven't put into one of my songs before. Also, I'm very happy with the arrangement overall. I'm very proud of the arrangement and the sounds I've chosen for the synths. This is the first song of mine that's gonna have a bass synth like prominently featured in the mix, I think. So that's exciting to me. There's just like a lot of cool things in there that I'm
looking forward to.